They say finding your soulmate is the greatest feeling in the world. And for a while, I thought I had. I was engaged to a man who seemed to be everything, brilliant, handsome, and devoted. But the truth, as it always does, came out. He wasn't just living a double life. He was a fraud. A master manipulator. And I was his final, most profitable mark. This isn't a story about a public screaming match or a broken heart. This is a story about a different kind of justice. One where I didn't just walk away. I made sure he had nowhere to run. His name was Ryan. We met at a startup conference, and I was instantly drawn to his ambition. He was a visionary, always talking about his big ideas. I was a financial analyst, and he'd come to me for advice on his company or tech. We fell in love quickly, and a year later, we were engaged. He was perfect. He told me his company was about to get a huge investor, and he was taking on a massive new project. I was so proud of him. I believed every word. Lies unraveled on a Tuesday. Ryan asked me to find a specific contract on his company laptop. I was happy to help. But in my search, I stumbled upon a file titled The Plan. Inside was a meticulously detailed plot. His big investor. His ex-girlfriend's father. His new project. A complete fabrication designed to get a massive investment. And his plan? To take the money, marry me, then disappear, leaving me to face the legal consequences of his fraud. The betrayal wasn't just in his cheating. It was in his use of me. My love, my trust, my professional knowledge, it was all a tool to him. The tears never came. Just a deep, cold, and quiet rage. I was a financial analyst. I understood the language of contracts and accounts. I knew exactly what he was doing, and I knew exactly how to stop him. He had no idea he was giving the keys to his entire operation to the one person he planned to ruin. I became a ghost in his system. I took screenshots of every file, every document, and every email. I built my case in silence, right under his nose. I needed an ally. I called my friend, David, a corporate lawyer. I laid out the entire case for him, the contracts, the emails, the web of lies. His face was a mix of shock and admiration. I also found his ex-girlfriend, the one whose father was the investor. Turns out, Ryan had scammed her too, using her to get closer to her family's wealth. She was a victim just like me. We joined forces. It was time to give Ryan a taste of his own medicine. The plan was simple and precise. The massive deal was set to close on a Friday. We would let him get as close to the finish line as possible, and then, we would pull the rug out from under him. The week of the deal, I acted like the perfect, loving fiancé. I told him how proud I was. I even went with him to pick out a new car. He was so excited. He was on top of the world. He had no idea his world was about to collapse. The day of the deal arrived. He was in the boardroom, shaking hands with the man who was about to make him a millionaire. He was so close. But just as he was about to sign, the door opened. I walked in, followed by Olivia and David. Ryan's face went from a confident smirk to pure, unadulterated fear. He knew he was caught. David calmly laid out the entire case. The forged documents, the fabricated project, the misuse of funds. The evidence was irrefutable. Ryan tried to talk his way out of it, to spin his lies, but his words were empty. His investor, enraged by the deception, stood up and walked out, taking his money with him. The tables turned swiftly. Ryan was hit with a massive lawsuit. He was charged with fraud. His company, his dream, was no more. The man who was on the verge of becoming a millionaire was now facing a criminal investigation and a lifetime of debt. And the best part? I didn't have to say a word. I just walked away. So, what's the takeaway? The greatest revenge isn't a public spectacle. It's a quiet, cold, and calculated act of justice. It's about not letting their betrayal define you. It's about using their own lies as the tools for their downfall. Because when tables turn, it's not just a change of luck. It's a change of power. Have you ever been betrayed by someone you love? Let me know in the comments below. If you want to see more stories of justice served, make sure to like and subscribe to When Tables Turn. And next week, we'll be talking about a high school bully who got a taste of their own medicine on the corporate ladder.